Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Coach and Player Podcast. I'm your host, Darrell Butler, along with Rick Bouch. Say what's up, Rick.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Today's guest is a coach and was a player for the Kansas City Chiefs, who drafted in the very first round of the 1987 draft. He was also featured on the cover of our first digital magazine released last fall. So if you haven't checked that out already, you're late. Shame. Go download it now. But anyway, while getting drafted in the NFL should have been the highest of highs, that day also turned out to be the lowest of lows. But I'll let him tell the story in his own words. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our first guest, Paul Palmer. What's up, Paul? How are you?
I'm wonderful. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Pretty good. Now, obviously, it's draft weekend, and as I alluded to earlier, when you were drafted to the NFL, it was actually a bittersweet moment for you. Can you please share what happened that day?
On my draft day, as a matter of fact, I was raised by my great-grandmother, and on my draft day, my great-grandmother passed probably, I'd say, maybe a couple hours after I'd gotten the phone call. My great-grandmother had passed, and I believe she had raised me. I mean, from the time I can remember, I was always with her, so I would have to think I was probably with her from the time I was about 2 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like she held on just for that, yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the way it seems. It seems as though, when it got closer to the draft and she had gotten sick, she had said to people in my family that she just wanted to be around long enough to see me get drafted. So it appears that that's the way it kind of worked out.
Wow, yeah, she got to live her dream. That's wow, that's tough. That's a touching story.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, do memories of that day make it hard for you to watch the draft now? Like, is it difficult for you? Does this bring up, or how do you look at?
No, I don't. It doesn't give me any really sad feelings. It was just ironic that this year the draft was on the exact date. It's the exact date. I remember, my grandmother's passing because of the draft, or I remember my draft day because of my grandmother's passing, but that's why I remember the date. It was April 28th, 1987. So that's kind of what kind of put me in that kind of weird mood was the date, not necessarily the draft itself.
I got you. Now, I mean, clearly she must have inspired you. I mean, your rookie season, you were an all-pro. You had a 24.3-yard average kickoff return. That was best in the AFC. So, I mean, was your rookie servant kind of was that season like a dedication to her?
The rookie season was just crazy. It was just bad. You know what I mean? I expected to play more, and I hadn't quite played as much as I had thought as a running back, not as a kick returner, but as a running back. But then also, I was just, my whole foundation was just rocked. I had a couple of agents that were pretty shady and turned out to be even more shady than I had thought, and I was kind of left with relying on them as my foundation, as my rock, and they were everything other than that, except for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
What do you think are some of the most important lessons you've learned from her? That it sounds like she was a pretty incredible woman. So I mean, you must have learned a lot from her.
I think the biggest thing I learned from my great grandmother, especially now in the climate that's going on now with the way things are here in the United States, I think the biggest thing I learned was you just treat people like you want to be treated. Right. She would always say that to me, and I'm kind of going simple as far as the stuff I learned from her. But that's one of the biggest things that she always said was, you got to treat people like you want to be treated. You respect people, and you hope that they give you the same type of respect back. You're nice to people on your way up because you never know what when you go down, if those same people are still standing there. You always want to do your best because you never know when it could be someone's first time, and in her case, the last time ever seeing you. So you always want to do your best, things like that.
Yeah, how much differently do you think your life would have turned out if you didn't have such a strong figure like her? And it sounds like things changed once she was gone. What do you think it would have been like? Like, do you think your career would have taken a similar path, or?
No, I don't think so. One of the good things, and let me just stay for the record, I have a great relationship with my mom, great relationship with my dad. I just think at the time they couldn't take care of me, so I ended up with my great grandmother. Right. So what was great about being with my great grandmother is that I was still around family. And I still grew up in a great neighborhood in Potomac, Maryland, where I had, some uncles that were around me and older guys around me that were athletes and sometimes made me participate with them in in football games, stuff like that. And that's kind of what developed my toughness. But being with my great grandmother allowed me just to be around family. Unfortunately, there's kids who are not raised by their moms and dads, and they're raised by foster families or people that they don't even have any connection to. And luckily for me that she stepped up and I was raised around my family.
Yeah, it sounds like families are really, you have a close bond. Like you said, your daughter's playing on her iPod right now while you're doing it. You're doing it remote right now. So.
Right.
Now, it sounds like you do a lot for kids. I mean, you're still running backs coach and a linebackers coach for Harrington High School in New Jersey?
Haddon Heights High School. There's a Haddon Field, a Haddon Township, and a Haddon Heights.
Oh, wow.
And I'm at Haddon Heights. I've been there for one, I love it. I've been there for God, this is going on my 11th or 12th year, and now I'm going into my third head coach.
How'd you guys do last season? How'd you guys do?
We're okay. They just changed the format. It's real strange. In New Jersey, we have a conference, but some of our conference is Group 1, some of our conference is Group 2, and there may be a Group 3 team in our conference. But the conferences are 100. This school's 100 years old, so the conferences are old. I think now they're going to a format where we'll just simply play Group 1 schools, and it'll make things it'll make things better for us. But we do well. My kids fight. They do the best they can. They fight.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing you probably passed some words of wisdom down from your great grandmother to them too as well. So it's kind of like her legacy's being passed down a lot.
Yeah, sure. I think a lot of just the whole idea. We had a young man. And we had a young man who happened to be playing a game on the same day a year before the anniversary of his grandmother passing. And one of the things I told him, I said, well, Nick, the way you show respect or the way you salute your grandmother is you go out and play the best that you can possibly play. And that's what she would want you to do. She wants you to, and I tell my kids this a lot of times. A lot of my kids are getting to the point where they have older parents, older grandparents, and you always want to do your best because you never know, if it's someone's first time seeing you want them to be impressed by you. And if someone's last time you've seen you, in your mind, wow, the last time they saw me play, this is what I did. And it doesn't have to be a great performance. It just has to be a good effort, a prideful effort. Right. Absolutely.
That's great advice. Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Now at the time of the obviously you were the cover star for our digital magazine. Now during the time of that article, you were on the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame, and you made your numbers are. You were second of any tested voting for the Heisman Trophy in '86. Like you have numerous records at Temple. 1,866 rushing yards in your final season. So what do you think is why? What do you think is going on? Like, why don't you think you haven't been selected yet? Because the numbers are solid.
I don't know. I think it's a college football award, but some of the people voting are looking at your professional careers. I don't know. I mean, if as far as how people did in the pros and in the longevity of their careers, I know that. I mean, there was something I posted on Facebook and on my Twitter when I first started. I put up my numbers, my junior and senior year against some of the people that have won the Heisman Trophy, and my numbers are, my numbers are better than some people that have won the Heisman Trophy, But for whatever reason, the voters haven't decided that I'm deserving enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But I know my numbers are good enough. I'm not worried about that, and I think if they take the time to research. Or if they take the time to look at the numbers and not look at the names, it's like, again, it's a college football award. It's not a pro football award. It's a college football award. If they do that, then I think I'll be in the Hall of Fame sooner or later.
Yeah, maybe in time. Maybe we might need to get Temple behind that. Might have to get them to try to start, maybe a little letter writing campaign. Some of those students need to shout you out a little bit.
Sure. Well, I think the fact that Temple had a successful season, I think that will help. Both of us. What I did in the past will help them, and what they currently do right now is going to help me. I think you kind of scratch each other's back. Right.
It's true.
Yeah,
you're color commentator for the team as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, all right, go ahead. Give me some prospects for the upcoming season, man. What should you look out for? Give me some players to watch
We're going to be good. We're going to be good. I'm sitting in now and I'm watching the draft. I'm waiting for my kids to go. I think one of my kids just went from Temple. Tavon Young may have just gone, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of in between both. But I think we're going to be good. I think we have a very good quarterback. P.J. Walker looks great. I saw him in spring ball. Jahad Thomas is easily the best running back in the conference, in the AAC, and one of the best in the nation. And we have a defense with a defensive coordinator. Coach Snow is just absolutely incredible. So I think we're going to be fine. I think we should be able to maintain our top 20, top 25 appearance, and we can continue to build. I think we recruited well, and there were a lot of kids that, honestly, 8 months ago paid no attention to Temple, and now all of a sudden you have these kids that want to go to Temple. So the talent pool has gotten bigger and better for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. If you could put a shout out to some of these great players you just mentioned, tell them to go to my alma mater, Rutgers, because I think they might need some help. So if you could, you could send them over, send them across the border in the Jersey.
No way. Well, they say, what is it? I don't know if charity starts at home. I don't know what it is. I got to take her home first. I got to take her home first, and then once I take her home, then and whatever's left, Rutgers is more than glad if they can have it.
Yeah. Now, any final thoughts on the draft? You mentioned a couple players. How about not just Temple? Any big winners, losers, or surprises that you saw? It sounds like you watched a little bit, right?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. I don't. Todd Bowles is my man with the Jets. Todd and I were teammates at Temple for 3 years.
Nice.
And me and my buddies were discussing the Jets getting Hackenberg. And, my impression of Hackenberg is the only impression I have is when Temple played against him. And I know that Temple struggled a lot with mobile quarterbacks, and guys like Hackenberg or Lynch, the guys that were a little less mobile, Temple kind of worked them over pretty good. So I don't know what's in store with the Jets and Hackenberg. Hopefully Hackenberg will do well because I love Todd and I hope he does well. But as far as the draft, I just kind of sit back. You never know how it's going to go. I mean, you never really know, how well a kid is going to do, and you never really, guys, just because you're a great high school player, that doesn't mean you're going to be a great college player. Just because you're a great college player, that doesn't mean you're going to be a great pro. You have to kind of wait and let the chips fall where they may and take it from there. But I just hope that these kids surround themselves with good people, stay around good places, surround themselves with good things, because when you don't, a perfect example is the young man from Ole Miss.
Oh,
of not having people around him that had the best interest in him, for him. And you have to do that. And if you don't, if your circle around you isn't good, man, you can't prosper. It's too much confusion, too much negative energy. You can't prosper if you don't have things straight at home.
Right. That's great advice, man. sounds like Graham did a good job.
Yeah, Graham did a good job, and some stuff I had to learn on the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it. Sounds like those agents taught you a few things too, unfortunately.
Yeah, they sure as hell did.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts. Before I let you go, man, you mentioned your Twitter, so here's a little chance for some shameless self-promotion. So, when you want to drop that Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff and everybody.
My Twitter is #PaulPalmer06. My Temple number 6. So #PaulPalmer06. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Beautiful.
You on Instagram at all too, or?
No, I'm not on Instagram. I can't do too much, man. I'm old. I'm getting old. Takes too much.
Hey, I still don't understand Snapchat. Snapchat confuses me too. So.
Oh my God! I'm too old for this stuff. But I like Twitter. I like Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter's cool.
And like I said, the Twitter was cool because it gave me a chance to kind of tell my story about my great grandmother in draft day. So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. It's a great story. It's spreading a lot. I think it's going viral. People love it. So, I mean, her legacy's living on. Hope to see you in the Hall of Fame one of these days, man. That's going to be great.
And I appreciate that. And I'm glad that Coach and Player Magazine got a hold of it and they kind of put it out there. It's funny, a lot of people close to me didn't know it. A lot of people from Temple knew it, but a lot of people that I've gotten to know since Temple didn't know anything about how I was raised and my great-grandmother passing on my draft day. So it's pretty incredible how social media works.
Well, that's incredible that she was even able to hold that secret so long. That was my takeaway from there, because the fact she kept that, and that was such a big sacrifice to not talk about herself, to not distract you. So she's a pretty incredible woman.
Yeah, she had gotten sick. She had a heart attack my senior year. She told everyone in the family not to tell me. She didn't want me to come home. She didn't want me missing school. She didn't want me to do anything. And then she got sick again right before the draft. I was going to stay in Philly, but she got sick again right before the draft. So instead of staying in Philly, I went home. And then by the time I got home, she had a stroke, and then she was in a coma. So, me and a bunch of my friends got in 2 or 3 cars, drove down to Maryland for the night. Slept in my living room. I grew up in a little Cape Cod style home, if you're familiar with that, and slept on top of each other's shoulders, Wow. And woke up the next morning and did the draft.
Huh. Yeah, well, that's a crazy story, man. Rick put the story together, so definitely check that out. Rick, you want to drop your Twitter, or Instagram, any of that stuff too? A little shameless self-promotion plug.
I'm old like Paul, but yeah, my Twitter is My Football Freak.
Okay.
And,
all right.
Check it out. Yeah.
All right, cool. And I'm not. Yeah, we're not gonna dig into that name. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you alone.
Right, right.
Mine's at Fat Darrell's LLC on Instagram, at Fat Darrell at Twitter. Collectively, we're at Coach and Player, so make sure you follow us. Also, get that magazine. There's a lot of good stuff on Paul and that, and then check out the article by Rick. But thanks for joining us, Paul. I really appreciate it, man. That's great information for us.
Man, you guys are awesome, man. Anytime I can help.
All right, man. Get this man in the Hall of Fame. He's doing big things. All right?
Amen.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
I
Post your comments below.
Too. Thank you. You guys take care.
All right, you too. All right.
Thanks.
Thanks again. Thanks for listening, everybody. Post your comments below. And, yep, that's it. We're out.